Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to our third Shrewsbury Town in the Community live maths lesson with me, Mr. Brown. Hope everyone is staying safe and well at home and keeping busy. We're going to do some maths today that's also going to be a little bit active, so feel free to join in and get involved at home. Okay, we're joined today by two guests. So we've got Rowan. Hello, Rowan. Give us a thumbs up. You all okay?
Yeah.
And we've also got Evie as well. Give us a thumbs up, Evie. You doing okay?
Yep.
So you two have been doing lots of our Shrewsbury Town in the Community lessons, so you two will be experts by now. Okay. So what we're going to do, we'll move on to look at what we will be doing today. So first off, if you're going to join in, you will need a pen or pencil, some pieces of paper that can be ripped up into small little pieces like this. And then you'll also need a ball or a beanbag or something small that you can find around the house to catch and a space to work in. Okay, we'll move on and have a look at some of the things we'll be doing and learning about today. So we're looking at addition in our maths, and we're going to add pairs of 1 and 2 digit numbers, and then we'll also be using some of our fundamental movement skills that we might have been looking at in our PE lessons earlier in the week. So if you joined in those, they'll stand you in good stead for what we're about to do. Okay, first thing we're going to do, we're going to watch a Super Movers video that's going to talk a bit about counting up in some different numbers. So feel free to join in at home. Rowan and Evie, join in as well, and we'll get started.
Shall we learn about counting? Let's get the ball rolling.
Okay, get ready.
Let's count in once from 1 to 20. Then back again, 20 to 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
Well
10,
done, Evie. Keep going.
13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And back again. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Counting is easy, peasy, easy. Counting is easy. Counting is easy, tweezy, squeezy. Counting is easy. Now let's count in twos, the tricky, tricky twos. From 2 to 20 and back again. 2.
Okay, keep going. Well done, Rowan and Evie.
10. We just had 2. 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. And back again. 20, 18, 16, 14, 12. We're just taking off 2. 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. Counting is easy, peasy, easy. Counting is easy. Counting is easy, tweezy, squeezy. Counting is easy.
Okay, moving on to a new number.
5s in multiples of 5. From 5 to 50 and back again. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. We just had 5. 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. And back again. 50, 45, 40, 35, 30. We're just taking off 5. 25, 20, 15, 10,
Good moves, Evie and
5.
Rowan.
Counting is easy, peasy, easy. Counting is easy. Counting is easy, tweezy, squeezy. Counting is easy. Let's count in tens
Okay,
from
last
10
one,
to
10.
100. and back again. 100 to 10. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. We're just adding 10. 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. And back again. 100, 90, 80, 70, 60. We're just taking off 10. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. Counting is easy, peasy, easy. Counting is easy. Counting is easy, tweezy, squeezy. Counting is easy.
Okay, well done to you two and everyone else at home that's joined in. If you want to grab a quick drink, do that now, and we'll have a look at what we're going to move on to next for our first activity. So activity 1, which is on the next slide, is going to be catching and counting. Okay, so for this activity, you will need something small like a ball, or if you haven't got that, maybe a rolled up pair of socks or something that you can throw and catch. If you've got a partner, you can join in with them, but if you haven't, like me, you can use a wall or you can throw it up in the air and catch it. Okay, so if we move on to the next slide, we'll look at how to play. So you're going to throw and catch with your partner, okay, for 30 seconds. Each time you can do a throw and a catch, you score yourself 1 point. Okay, and we'll see how many points we can score in that 30 seconds. Okay, so let's go and have a go. Okay, we ready? Off we go. Okay, hold it there. Rowan, what score did you manage to get to?
26.
26. Oh, you beat me. I got 22. Evie, what about you? What did you get?
12.
12. Okay, well done. So remember that number. Okay, and this time, if you want, you can make it a little bit harder by moving further away. Okay, but if you want to stay where you are, that's fine. You're going to try and beat that score. Okay, remember your first score, and we're going to go and have a go and see if we can beat it this time. Okay, are we ready? Okay, 3, 2, 1, and off we go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
Okay, and stop there. Rowan, what did you get this time?
22.
Okay, well done. Evie, what about you?
12.
Okay, so now we've got 2 scores. What I would like you to do is have a little think and add your first score and your second score together to get your total score for that round. Okay, I got 22 as well that time, so I equaled my score. So I'm doing 22 add 22. Okay, let me know when you think you've got the answer. Evie, do you think you know what you've got?
Yeah.
What do you think it is?
24.
24, well done. Rowan, what about you?
48.
Well done. Okay, and I got 44. Okay, so this time I want you to think of a new number you're going to count up in. So if you want, you might want to have add in 2 as your score every time. So you're counting in 2s. Or if you want to do 5s or 10s, it's totally up to you. You can choose. And if you want to make it a bit harder, maybe one-handed or moving further away to challenge yourself, then that's perfect. Okay, I'm going to count up in 2s this time, and I'm going to try one-handed catch. Okay, we ready? Let's see how many we can get in 30 seconds. Ready? Off we go. 2.
40,
50,
80,
90,
100,
120.
No, 110. 120. 140.
150.
180.
190.
220. 240.
250.
260. 280.
Okay, stop there. Okay, Rowan, what number were you counting in?
Tens.
Tens. How many did you get?
290.
Well done, really good. Evie, what number were you counting up in?
Tens.
Tens. And what score did you get?
30.
Okay, well done. Okay, so this time, okay, counting in the same number, you can change what you're doing. So it might be that you want to bounce your ball and catch it, but remember that first score you got, okay? Because when we get our next score, we're going to add those together as well. Okay, this time I'm going to bounce my ball and catch it. Okay, 30 seconds again. Okay, we ready?
Still
Off we go.
10.
Ready?
150.
60.
210.
20.
Okay, 5 seconds left.
Run.
Oh, 260.
Okay, right, let's see how we did. I saw some good bouncing back and forth there from Rowan. Okay, what did you score this time, Evie?
130.
Oh, wow. So is that before you've added it to your second score?
Yes.
Yeah, so you're going to add 130. And what was your first score? 30?
30.
Yeah, so add those together and get your total. Rowan, what did you score this time?
290 again.
Oh, wow. So you equaled your score. You've got the tricky job now of seeing if you can add those together. So if you want to write it down, that's absolutely fine. I'll give you a minute. Evie, have you managed to work out your total yet? What was it?
160.
Well done. We'll give Rowan a little minute just in case he needs to do some working out. Now, for this last go, you can choose a number you've already used, or you can choose a new number to count up in. And this time I'm going to let you decide what you want to do with your ball. So it might be, if you're a bit of a footballer, you might want to do toe taps. You might want to pass your ball against the sofa or against something. You might want to jump over your ball. It's totally up to you. So you have a think what you want to do with your ball for this last round. Rowan, what have you got as your total?
580.
Well done. Really good maths there. Okay, Rowan, have a think about what you want to do for this last round. You can choose whatever you want to do with your ball. It could be passing. It could be toe taps. And think of a new number that you're going to count up in jumps of. Okay, I think I'm going to do passing against the sofa, and I'm going to do 5.
5.
Okay, you ready?
Every pass, you touch it.
3, 2, 1, off we go.
Stop it. Passes it.
Yeah, 10. 15.
20.
25. 30. 55. 60. 65. 70. 75. 80.
4 megs.
85. 90. 94. 100. 110.
Okay, let's have a look how we're getting on.
150.
Okay, and pause there. What scores did we manage to get? What about you, Rowan?
120.
Very good. Okay, Evie, what did you score?
90.
Okay, well done. So if you want to change the action you're doing with your ball for this round, that's fine. We're going to carry on counting in the same numbers and we'll see if you can beat your score. Okay, so if you want to try something new with your ball, and then we're going to add our totals up at the end just like that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, are we ready? Okay, let's go. Okay, and stop there. So think back to your first score and your second score and see if you can add those two together to get your total score for our last round.
5.
If you need to write it down and have a minute, that's fine. Evie, do you know what you got yet? Have a little think and a count.
Yep.
What was your final score?
155.
Well done, really good. Rowan's busy working hard trying to work his answer out. Okay, Evie, if you want to grab a quick drink while we give Rowan a second. Have a little drink. And for this next bit, Evie, questions to think. Oh, Rowan's back. Yeah, what did you get, Rowan?
295.
Very good, well done. Okay, so some questions to think about then, because we're sort of mixing up our maths and our PE a little bit today. So, yeah. Rowan, I'll ask you this first one. What makes maths so important in sport? Why do we need maths in sport?
Count the scores up.
Yeah, so if we didn't have maths, we wouldn't be able to count the scores up. Okay. Evie, what else might we use maths for in sport?
To keep the score.
Good, yeah, so keep the score. If we're thinking about how big pitches are and things as well, we've got pitch dimensions and all sorts of things like that. Rowan, how do you know who's top of the league table in the Premier League?
Because of the numbers.
Yeah, so you've got numbers for points, so it's all added up and the amount of goals that are scored and everything. So maths is really important. Okay, so we're going to move on to our second activity. Okay, so this one is called adding it up. Now for this one, this is where you'll need some small pieces of paper, and on those pieces of paper you can write down numbers that you choose. So if you really want a challenge, you can make it some really high numbers. If you want to make it a little bit easier, you can write some smaller numbers. Okay, so moving on to the next slide and we'll look at how to play. So what we're going to do, we're going to put our pieces of paper with our numbers on down on the floor in our playing area. That's spread out so there's gaps between them. Okay. Okay, well done. Once you've got your numbers spread out onto the floor, we're going to look at moving using some of our fundamental movements in and out. So we're going to treat the pieces of paper a bit like they're cones. So Rowan, I know you did PE earlier in the week looking at some agility. Yeah. Moving in and out. So what movements could we do going in and out of these pieces of paper?
Side walk.
So some side steps.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a really good idea. So what we'll do, we're going to move through the paper doing some side steps. And then when I shout stop, you're going to pick up two pieces of paper that you're closest to, and then you'll bring them to the screen and we'll have a look at which two numbers you're going to add together. Okay, so side steps is what we'll do first. Rowan, give us a demonstration of some good side steps. Yeah, really good. Okay. So off you go when you're ready, moving in and out. You can go up and down. Okay, and stop there. Pick two numbers. So Evie, which two numbers have you got?
4 and 12.
4 and 12, okay? So you're going to add those two numbers together. Rowan, which two have you got?
1 and 10.
1 and 10. So you're going to add those two together. My two numbers are 15 and 7, okay? So have a little think. Rowan, have you got your score for this round?
Yeah.
What is it?
11.
Good, well done. Evie, what about you?
I've got 16.
Good, well done. how did you work that out, Evie? Which number did you start with when you were thinking in your
I
head?
started with the bigger number and then just added the one-digit number to the one-digit.
Good, really good. Yeah, so it's easier to start with the biggest number, so we have to add on the smaller ones, isn't it? Okay, you can put your 2 pieces of paper back into. And Evie, this time, can you think of a way of moving in and out that we might try?
Jumping.
Jumping, good. Okay, so we're going to do feet together jumping. Okay, off we go then. Okay, and select 2 numbers. Okay, let's have a look. This time I've got 6 and 22. So I'm going to start with 22 and count on 6. So for this one, I know that there's only 10s in this number. So I'm going to keep the 20, and then I know that 6 and 2 make 8. So it's got 28. Rowan, what have you got?
I've got 55 and 50. And I'm
Good.
going to
So
add them up.
how are you going to think about adding those together? Maybe a clue could be that your 10s, you could know that the 10s go together to make a number
Yeah.
that you know. Okay, Evie, what have you got this time?
23 and 8.
Oh, wow. Okay, have a think about adding those 2 together. So, what number goes really well? Was it 93?
I got mine.
Okay, Rowan, what have you got?
23.
23.
105.
Well done. So did you do that 50 and 50 go together to make 100?
Yeah.
And then you've got 5 left over. Good.
Yeah.
Evie, if you've got 23 then, you might count on from 23, 7 to get to
30.
50, and then you've got 1 left over to add. So what would your total be?
31.
Really good. Well done. Okay. So if we move on to the next part of our game, we'll look at some ways that we can change our game. So let's have a look at the next slide. Okay, moving on past that one. Okay, so we've looked at how to work them out. Moving on to the next slide. So for this round, these are some of the ways that you can change your game, and it's going to be your choice which one of these you do. So if you've got a ball, you might want to dribble your ball in and out of the pieces of paper, a bit like a football session, dribbling in and out. If you've got something like a bean bag, then you might want to balance it as you travel in and out. Or you might want to try and throw your bean bag and land it onto some of the numbers before you select them. Okay, Rowan, what are you going for? Are you going for dribbling?
Yeah.
Evie, what are you going to go for?
I'm going to hold my ball on my hand like this.
Oh, nice. So you're balancing it as we travel, okay? Right, let's go and get ready for our game then. I think I'm going to go for throwing my beanbag and trying to land it on a number, okay? Okay, off we go. 4. Okay, got one number. Oh, look at that. First time. Okay, when you're ready, Rowan, what you could do, you could stop your ball on a piece of paper before you pick it. Okay, Evie, have you got 2 numbers?
Yep.
Yeah, which 2 have you got this time?
16 and 10.
16 and 10. So you're only going to have to add the 10s columns together, aren't you? Rowan,
Yeah.
what about you?
45 and 50.
Okay, have a little think then, add them together. My 2 numbers are 21 and 22. So I might put them on top of each other like that and add the units together to get 3 and then add the 10s together to get 4. So I know it's going to be 43. Okay, Rowan, have you managed to figure yours out yet?
Yeah.
Okay, what was your total?
85.
Well done. Evie, are you still working yours out?
No.
No, you've got your answer.
Yeah.
You get them.
26.
Good. Okay, well done. So those are some of the ways that we can change our game. Okay. Now, the last little part is how we could make it really hard. So if we move on to the next slide and look at some of our extra time learning. Okay, so for this one, what we could do to make it really tricky is when we select our numbers, we could maybe pick 3 numbers so that we're adding 3 numbers together instead of 2. Okay, so this time you're going to choose what you do with your ball or your beanbag. But this time when we finish and we say stop, you're going to pick 3 numbers to bring back, okay, to make it a bit more challenging. Okay, are we ready? So this will be our last go. I'm going to do what you were doing, Rowan, I think, dribbling. Okay, off we go.
On the mat, Rowan, since.
Okay, pick your numbers when you're ready. Okay, so the numbers that I've got are 23 and 10. Now, when I look at these, I know that 3 and 7 go together with our number bonds to 10. So I know that those 2 together are going to make 30. And then I can just add my last one, which is 10, to get 40 as my total. Rowan, what are your 3 numbers?
1, 50 and 10.
Okay, so what order are you going to add those in?
So I'm going to start with the 50, then add 10, and then add the 1.
Good, so what's your total?
61.
Good, really good. Evie, what about you? What was your 3 numbers?
13, 3 and 4.
Okay, good. So what order did you add yours in?
I added the big number and made my way to the smaller number.
Good, well done. So what did you get as your answer in the end?
20.
Okay, well done. So our last part of our lesson is to think about ways that you could change that game at home. So you can find the things to play that at home. If you want to change that game at home to make it easier or harder or anything like that, you can do that and keep active and keep your maths going at home. Okay, so that brings us to the end of our session today. Hope you've enjoyed it at home if you've joined in, and thank you for watching. Make sure you check out our Facebook page, as there'll be more live lessons coming next week. And a big thank you to Rowan. Give us a thumbs up. Okay, you've worked hard today. And a big thank you to Evie as well for joining us. Well done, Evie. And everyone watching at home, make sure you stay safe. And we'll see you in another video soon. Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye.
See you, Evie. See you, Rowan.
Bye. Bye.